Hello everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and in today's video I've decided to do a video where I give one of my top tips for makeup beginners. So I'm going to be talking about what to get and what not to get when you're a beginner to makeup. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. Let's start off with the topic of coverage. Obviously, if you have quite bad skin or not use some foundation, the reason why I wouldn't really recommend foundation is because foundation does have quite a lot of chemicals in, which is fine, but it's just not the best thing to do since you are a beginner. So I would totally say no to the foundation, but what you could use is some BB cream. All BB cream is, it's literally like foundation and it has a coverage like foundation, but it's just more better. So yeah, I really recommend BB cream, and this is the Advanced Skin Corrector BB cream. Either you can do foundation as well, but I would suggest getting BB cream. And then you are now ready to put the BB cream to the side and then try some foundation, go ahead, but I would probably not do that as fast because I would want to use the BB cream a lot, and then when I'm ready I would go to the foundation. If you want to use foundation or BB cream, you can just simply go ahead and use some concealer. So here are some of my concealers. What I'd actually suggest is some liquid concealers, and all three of these are from the brand called Lasting Perfection Collection. These are very cheap, they are £4. If you have acne or if you just have a bad skin day, you can use some BB cream and a bit of concealer on the go as well. On with the second topic. So I have a couple of powders here, and first of all I have the Lasting Collection Perfection pressed powder, and the difference between pressed powder and loose powder is that this is just loose powder, but this is pressed powder, meaning it's like solid powder, if you get what I mean. So yeah, so if you are wondering to get the pressed powder or the loose powder, it just depends. They do the exact same thing, it's just that they have a different consistency. I suggest to get both of them because if you have bad skin or if you just like to bake, I would bake with the loose powder because you can't really bake with this, but then this actually keeps your foundation on for the whole day. And yeah, and this is perfect for baking. You can also put this all over your face to make sure your foundation stays, and you can do the exact same thing with this, but the only thing with this is that you can bake, so that's the reason why I decided to get two. Also, I painted one of my hands and I didn't really paint the others. Anyways, the third topic I really wanted to talk about is eyes. Now for eyes, there's not much to really talk about, it's just the colours the most of the time, because if you are obviously a beginner to makeup, you wouldn't really want to use blues, greens, reds, pink. I would totally recommend some neutral colours. So I'm going to be showing you my chocolate bar palette by Too Faced. This is a semi-sweet palette, by the way, and as you can tell, most of the colours on the semi-sweet chocolate bar palette are neutral. I would totally suggest neutral colours because they're quite on the light side, they're not too much. And yeah, so I really recommend things, but I wouldn't really recommend getting the semi-sweet chocolate bar palette on the first go. I do recommend obviously getting it because it is the best eye palette I've ever used. I literally love it, and the smell is incredible. It's literally chocolate. Anyways, I would suggest to get the Too Faced semi-sweet chocolate bar palette, but I wouldn't suggest it to beginners. It's for £39 on the Too Faced website, and it is quite expensive for this palette, but what I would suggest is getting something obviously much more cheaper than a Too Faced palette, but I would get something quite compact, small. I found this at the back of my makeup drawer, but I just got this for an example. So get something like small and easy, but you wouldn't want to get quite a palette. You could get this, but I would suggest to get this since you're a bit more confident with makeup because it is quite expensive, and you want to get some small compact things and easy to put on, and all these are very pretty neutral colours. And this is the Rimmel London palette, by the way. So you don't really have to use some eyeshadow. What you could do is use some concealer as a base and just use some mascara. But if you do want to do some bright colours like blues, pinks, greens, reds and etc., I would suggest the Lorac palette, and it does say beginner's collection right here, so I would suggest to get the Lorac palette, even though the bad thing about this for beginners is that it's quite big and it would take quite a lot of space. But as I said, if you like bright colours, then this is the way to go, because it has lots of bright colours and it's not even that expensive. So that's the amazing thing about this palette. As you can tell, it has all the fun and bright colours, and also it's a beginner's collection, and the only thing is it's quite big and you will need quite a lot of space for this. But that's the only thing about it, is that it's too big. But if you like bright colours, like I said, and if you're a beginner and you like bright colours, the Lorac palette is the way to go. So now we're going to move on to mascaras. So for mascaras is that you don't really have to use an eyeshadow. You could just use some concealer on your eyelids as a base and then put on the eyeshadow, because then your eyeshadow will stay on for a double longer the time. Now for mascaras, I would suggest to not get lots. Now obviously I'm quite confident with makeup, that's why I've got a couple of mascaras here, but I just picked out randomly these 4 out my makeup drawer, because I do have quite a lot of mascaras, but these are the 4 I really want to talk about. Now don't get something too expensive. You could if you wanted to, but something, for instance, something like this, like the False Lash Superstar mascara. Obviously, as you can tell, this is quite huge, especially to put in your makeup purse, which you could, but it's quite big, and you have one side for the eyelash primer and one side for the actual mascara, and this costed me £12, and I would rather get something a bit more cheaper than this. What I would really suggest for beginners is something like these 3. Now this one was £8, this one was £7, and this one now is £6. So I would suggest this one. This is amazing for £6. It's literally the best mascara ever. It's very affordable. This one's much more affordable to this one. As you can tell, £12 and £6. Obviously there's a £6 difference. The only thing I would say is the differences are that they do the same exact thing. This mascara does make your eyelashes much more longer and superstarish. I recommend this, and this is the Maybelline The Lash Sensational Mascara. Also, I did forget to mention about when I was doing the coverage topic that you should make sure to get some primer. You get primer because it will just give you a nice complexion before you apply your foundation, and this is the W7 Prime Magic Primer. We have some bronzers. This one was £5, this one was £3. Now obviously there isn't much of a price difference. It's literally a £3 difference between these. Just to get a bronzer that says natural bronzer, this is from Rimmel London. Really suggest and recommend this. And it says natural bronzer. That is the main reason I picked this up, because it's natural, and also it is waterproof and it has SPF 15 in it, which is amazing. And all bronzer does, it makes your skin much more healthy looking and much more glowy and nice. Now I would probably just use some bronzer rather than using blush, highlighter. I wouldn't really go to blush or highlighter. You could use some blush, but I would just stick to some bronzer. Moving on to the lips, you want to go for something quite heavy and bright. You could go for bright if you want to, but I would definitely suggest not to go for something bright. Like today I have some red lipstick on, but I wouldn't really suggest a red lipstick for beginners. You could rock a red lipstick anytime, but especially for beginners, because red lipsticks can stain a lot and they can bleed, and it is quite hard work wearing red lipstick sometimes, unless it's matte. Because if you do want to wear some bright colours and fun colours, I would suggest to get them in matte. I would suggest to get them matte, as this one is matte as well, because matte lipsticks tend to stay on longer. You don't really have to do them again during the day. Or if you want to go really nice and natural, I would probably go for some lip serum with almond oil, rosy lips, Vaseline. But yeah, this is like the best thing for beginners. But if you do want to add a bit of pink or a bit of colour, it is your choice if you want to do this or lipstick. I would do any one, don't mind. But for me, I would probably go for lipstick because I really like pinky colours on my lips. But you could go for this. This is amazing if you're a beginner or even on a daily basis you can use this. Yeah, especially for chapped lips as well. I would suggest lipsticks like this one, for instance, named the L'Oreal Paris Lip Paint. And the reason why I would suggest this is because it is a neutral nudie colour, and not only that, it is also because it is matte. I said matte lipsticks are much more better, especially for beginners, and I just like the look of mattes as well. This one is called 107 Vintage Pink, and it's literally such a pretty pink. I'm just going to do a swatch. It looks quite purpley on camera, but it's actually a really lighty pinky kind of purpley kind of lipstick, and it's amazing for beginners, literally, or even if you're not a beginner. This lipstick is the best for beginners. Not only does it have an amazing colour, but it does lips feel amazing because it is a lipstick mixed with a moisturizer, so it kind of feels like you have a moisturizer on your lips, but it's actually a lipstick. But yeah, I really recommend this lipstick, definitely, and this is the Rimmel London one. What I really also suggest is a same kind of similar colour to that, and this is the Essence Matte lipstick. I'm gonna do a quick swatch on that too. As you can tell, it's a very pretty pink. It's not hot pink. It does look quite hot pink in the camera, but there is a difference between hot pink and this pink. For instance, this is hot pink, and I'm just going to be showing you the difference between hot pink and the pink I really recommend. So this is the hot pink colour that I wouldn't really recommend, but if you do want to get bright colours, again, get them in matte. As you can tell, there is quite a difference between these two, so I would suggest that colour and this colour, definitely, and obviously some natural nude colours. And that is that. So I would suggest to get this one, not this one, but if you do, get it in matte, this one and this one. These are very pretty colours. And yeah, last but not least is the most main topic, is what you are going to be applying your makeup with. And do you have to get expensive things? Do you have to get cheap things? What do you do? The last but not least thing is makeup brushes and sponges. It's obviously the most important bit because that is what you're going to be applying your makeup with. Just a few of my makeup brushes, and yes, would actually suggest to go for Real Technique brushes. Real Technique brushes are quite expensive, but you don't have to get them straight away, even though they are incredible. If you want to go for something a bit more lower priced and is actually good as well, are some oval brushes. Oval brushes are amazing too. Foundation so quickly, easily, and plus they have a nice handle that you can hold and you can just quickly do that. So I do recommend oval brushes is the top thing. So you can go for Rimmel London or oval brushes, either one, they are both amazing. Now for eye brushes, you don't need much eye brushes. Here are some of my eye brushes. You don't really need this much, but yeah, I would probably suggest not to get too many at the start, because all you need is a normal eyeshadow brush and all you need is a blending brush. These two are amazing. Also the same thing again, I would probably recommend getting like mermaid brushes because they are slightly cheaper. Not only are they cheaper than Real Techniques, but they are amazing too. And I would probably say the exact same thing about unicorn brushes. So you have a choice between unicorn or mermaids. Also have a choice between using a Real Techniques brush for foundation or any kind of foundation brush you're using, or you have a choice between sponges. When I did start off, I did go for sponges, and it is your choice if you do want to go for like an oval brush, but personally I went straight to the sponges, and this is the Real Techniques Miracle Complexion Sponge. amazing. And this is just the normal beauty blender sponge. Also, you can get many different colours. These are quite pricey. This one I got for £8 and this one I got for £7. So it's your choice if you want to go with sponges or if you want to go with some brushes. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to give it a big thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. See you guys soon. Bye!